Route 325, turn into the Appalachian Trail parking lot. If you need more info about where this is, message me or drop a comment, or simply find it on a map. It's a pretty conspicuous area. There's plenty of parking here, but be conscious of hunters that also use the trails, and remember to wear orange during hunting season. Here we got a gate in the Appalachian Trail. Right here is notorious Clark's Creek. Comes through these pipes here, and Peyton and I are dressed in a lot of blaze orange. My hat, just to stay safe out here because it is hunting season. But this is for our local history project. It's just a beautiful little stream right here. You can see how crystal clear it is. There's a little tributary coming in, little brook. Alright, we're going to start the hike. You'll see this map, along with others and info about the game lands and local areas. The hike climbs from 533 feet elevation at the trailhead to 1,687 feet at the cairn, boasting an 1,154 foot elevation gain. The fire tower sits at 1,663 feet. By using Google Earth's ruler application, I closely estimated the hike at about 1.7 miles. The Appalachian Trail actually merges to the left, not even 25 yards from the crossing with Clark's Creek here. You make sure you stay left. There's a sign that says no horses. Again, stay left only a few steps after the maps. The Appalachian Trail makes a quick, sharp bend along Clark's Creek, and the narrow passage is easily missed. The large stone road that you start on eventually connects to Water Tank Trail, and you'll know that you missed your turn if you're on it for more than a minute. The Appalachian Trail crosses over the water pipeline that takes water from Dauphin Dam to Harrisburg. Here we got an example of a blaze. This is the Appalachian Trail, which have bright white with a grayish tint blaze. There's a couple ways you know if it's a blaze or if it's another mark. One, they're always rectangular in like an upright position, longer than they are wide. Two, they're usually at eye level or pretty close to it. And the third rule is, you know if you're on the trail, on the right trail, because you can always see the next blaze from the blaze you're at. The trail becomes very lush and beautiful. Not too far from the pipeline, many large springs emerge directly under the trail as a crystal clear, gravelly brook. Here's my watering spring. It's a little crystal clear spring brook. It comes down through this lush little outcrop of rocks. Refreshing. It's actually, for this time of the year, it's actually pretty warm. Spring water, but I've drank here many times. I know almost all the hikers fill up here just because it's so remote and the watershed's pure. There's nothing that could even pollute this. But I mean, I'm not taking responsibility for anyone's actions, but this is a really reliable spring, and this is what I get my water from. Alright, here we are, just above the spring. And if you look right here, you'll see two rectangular blazes on top of each other. And what that indicates is that there is a sharp change in direction or another trail that splits off of it. The Appalachian Trail, Horseshoe Trail 2.8 miles, Yellow Spring 6.7, Roush Gap Shelter 10.8. 6.2. Oh, 6.2. Alright. Here we are at Knauber Trail. The Horseshoe Trail is 1.6 miles up this increasingly steep, unforgiving trail with the red blazes. The trail is a beautifully maintained ribbon, thanks to local groups such as the Kebab Hiking Club of Harrisburg. The land around is simply wonderful, and this is easily my favorite hike of the area. Make sure you're in decent physical condition, or this hike could quickly become a disappointment to you. In the summer, plan on a much longer hike, especially on the steep, and don't be surprised if you down a gallon of water. With good physical and atmospheric conditions, you can make it up at a slow haul without stopping to the summit in about 45 minutes to an hour.
Alright, we already made a significant elevation gain. There's Peters Mountain and then Peyton way back there in the distance. But this section gets incredibly rocky and also incredibly steep. But yeah, just keep following the pinkish red blazes straight up. At some points it honestly becomes like more of a rock climb than an actual hike. You actually gain more elevation than you do distance. Like right here is a good example. It looks like a gorge almost, just canyon walls. Big rocks everywhere. Look at this. Keep trucking up Stony Mountain. We should be there in about an hour from this point. Alright, I kind of got to a little flat area. I left my best friend in the dust, unfortunately, but right here's an example of a place where you really want to follow the blaze. I mean, a lot of people will be inclined to head up that path right there, be it a deer path or whatever, but you always make sure there's the blaze. Back there was a double in that big old birch tree. Yep, so that means it's going to have a change of direction, which you need to pay attention to. These trails are really maintained and defined, but it ain't hard to get off the trail. Video. Alright, here we are with some astounding views, scenery, wildlife. It's still a little bit hazy on the horizon, but we're already at a higher elevation than Peters Mountain. Here it comes, here's the steep part. Wow, look at that. You almost fall backwards looking uphill. So this is the last real strenuous section until the summit, which is about 1,650 feet. Here's another little rock climb haul. Just don't help Peyton. Yeah, the trees don't have a high success rate, so they'll actually paint blazes right on the rocks. But look at this. Is that a hike or what? This is even fairly strenuous for me. Hey, look, just for reference, that tree right there straight up. Huh? Yeah. We're almost there. Here's a little lookout with a blaze on it. Wow. Okay. Yeah, these trees are all pretty much straight up. That's just a good relation.
Near the top, the trees get shorter and often display very ugly knots and galls. A red sign indicates the entrance to State Game Lands 210, also called Anthony's Wilderness.
What a cairn basically is it's a land marker. They're usually stacks of flat rocks which show any kind of landmark really, but right here, this is the joining of two trails as indicated by the blaze. This is called the Horseshoe Trail. It connects with Flats Road, which is basically a game land road that's pretty much grass, and it's, as indicated, it's perfectly flat across this valley here. Like, Devil's Racecourse is down in this dip. Roush Creek is out farther. This Horseshoe Trail basically goes in each direction, perpendicular to Henry Knauber. If you go left, it horseshoes around and comes down to the Flats Road, and that'll take you to Devil's Race Course. This side goes up this hill here, cuts down, and it'll take you to the Stony Mountain Fire Tower, all located in the flats. You also see sometimes in streams they mark certain fishing spots. It's pretty much amazing how trails and outdoorsmen have their types of signals, such as like the blazes. It's pretty similar to when you're tracking a deer, how you put a piece of orange tape on a tree just so you can find your way back and it's easily visible. These cairns, which it's a lot better to some people to see that than to actually have like a big sign that says this way. Like it's just awesome that these outdoor places still exist and that there's groups that work on maintaining the trails and protecting them, and that people like advocate themselves to do such things. Because in our day and age, a lot of kids don't have any incentive to go up in the woods. You know, I'm a firm believer in exploring and finding things your own. Like, if everything's just laid out perfectly, like, it can be good, but I'm more of an explorer. I'd rather be able to put my own type of creative thoughts into the process of finding these awesome places that still exist right in our backyard and people don't know about them.
The cairn, spelled C-A-I-R-N, is a preferred resting spot for my hiking crew and I. It signifies progress and also a hard choice between the vast landmarks of this historically rich wilderness. We always take a few pictures here and wait for anyone that's behind. From here, the fire tower is about a 20 to 30 minute hike west, which is right from here, and you'll appreciate the much more gentle terrain if the haul up was a challenge for you.
Alright, we're about a quarter mile out the right loop of the horseshoe trail with the blue blazes, and there's sort of high bank right here, and it kind of follows like an old logging road through here, which goes up. But here you actually want to make sure you stay left. You can see the trail is narrow again. Blue blaze right here on this tree. Yep, and the trail down here will cut down and actually make the horseshoe shape. Right through here you really can't see much of a trail, so you just got to really pay attention. You can see what looks like the line of best walk, as I call it, but yeah, the blazes are, you can see one from the other. Like, you see this one, see that one there. You just got to pay attention, because this isn't much different from just walking through the actual forest. And right down here, yet again, we have another double blue blaze right here on this tree, which means there's going to be a sharp turn of direction. If you look right here, they kind of marked it with these rocks, but you make a sharp right turn. Just pay attention for that stuff. Alright, here you can see nice rock outcroppings. Big rocks down there. It starts to get really thick with mountain laurel. Here you look, I mean, it's really, you can't even really tell it's a trail at all. You just see like a tiny line, like a few inches wide. It kind of cuts its way through. But this is really awesome trail. Like, it's aesthetically pleasing. Like, it actually feels like a real walk through the forest. Not just like a big old hiking trail you could take a car up. Here it kind of opens up a little bit and you can see green and bright orange blazes on the trees. Now, they probably are just for some kind of hunter, but it pretty much makes a perpendicular cross on this trail. And it heads down toward here, but yeah, we want to stay straight. Follow the blue blazes. Here the trail kind of momentarily loops back up that little ledge. We went across the very top. Here we get to a really interesting area. It gets really rocky again. You see mosses and lichens all over the rocks. It gets really rugged. You gotta watch your step here. Yeah, check that out. Yeah, there's Peyton, a 6-foot man. Look at this. Incredible. Here we go, we're at the top. It's pretty hazy, but man, the view is outstanding. Leaves are off the trees. You can see right there is the dam for Dehart. The reservoir, which extends 5 miles up. Aqua blue water, man, that's beautiful. Look out through Clarks Valley. You can see a couple of them white oaks down in there that kind of held their leaves. Yeah, this is just incredible. Over in that area you can see that field right there. That would be Enders. If you zoom in really far over here, you see that dip with the bald spot right there. That's the quarry above Eville. If you look over here, you see that diagonal road that comes down. See this diagonal road that comes down? That's Carsonville Road, which makes the bend. Hang on, Peyton. And then you come down and you can see Clarks Valley Road 325. Then you see this big bald spot right here. That's actually the Appalachian Trail parking lot. You can actually see how the trail comes up through here, across to the top of this big dome, and then it pretty much winds its way across through, right down into here. Devil's Racecourse, yep, is out there on the other side of the Horseshoe Trail, but my battery's getting low, and hope we got enough images of the top, which is spectacular.
It's starting to get dark too.
Yeah, it's starting to get dark actually. Well, we got some sunlight left, but oh yeah, if you look over that way on a clear day, you can see 3 Mile Island. If you look that way, you can actually see Route 78 by the Whale's Head. Yep, and there we go.
To climb up the tower is 110 steps. I'd estimate the tower is at least 100 feet tall, probably closer to 125 if not larger. This tower is actually fairly new, built in the 70s or 80s. A much older tower once stood somewhere in the area, but was replaced due to the much better vantage point of this newer tower. The gate is open and there aren't any no trespassing signs, so don't vandalize or litter and clean up anything you see to keep the area open. If you're afraid of heights, you'll be nervous with a one-story climb. The now rusting tower has held over 700 pounds of people during one of my hikes, so rest assured that it's pretty sturdy. At the top, the shelter box is heavily vandalized, with tons of names and dates, bullet holes, and a pink Lady Pac-Man on the side. These actions could end up closing the area. Buzzards also utilize this high point, with their white scat staining the handrails of the tower. The view from the top is 5-star, stunning. You can see all of the Dehart Dam and Reservoir, all of Clarks and Stony Valley, over Peters Mountain to Berry Mountain and the Elizabethville Quarry, a large hillside farm near Enders, out Lebanon County to Blue Mountain, parts of Susquehanna River near Harrisburg, 3 Mile Island cooling towers, Ski Round Top in York, and some of the huge warehouses of Hershey Manufacturing. The view obviously depends heavily on the humidity and cloud cover.
We're on Knauber Trail here, off the Appalachian Trail in Clarks Valley. We got a rattler, I'm not sure if you can hear him, but my friend over here just about stepped on him. Oh man, he is pissed. Damn, he is a big boy. He's black as hell. Oh, I'm out of here. I'm not.